Welcome to TMZ Live. Wow, talk about a very busy news morning because Savannah Guthrie returned to the Today Show, and we have some very emotional video of that. But the story that we did not see coming, that we broke early this morning, Britney Spears arrested for DUI. Arrested last night around 9 o'clock. She was stopped by California Highway Patrol. Not far from her home in Ventura County in Westlake Village. And what happened after this stop, it reveals a lot about what's been going on in Britney's world, some of which we knew and some things we didn't. And there's a reason why some people around her think that this DUI arrest will ultimately, they're hoping, be a good thing for her. So let's start with what happened last night. Gets pulled over around 9 o'clock, as I said, and officers immediately think that
they notice that
something
based on the dispatch call. We noticed that, or that we see that they see her swerving a little in her BMW. Once they pull her over, they also found a substance in the car that they are testing. We are not sure what the substance is. But we're told that will also be part of the charges that are brought against her.
Right. So right now, she was booked when they arrested her. She was booked just for DUI,
yes.
But it is clearly a possibility there could be more. So just to get an idea of what, and we haven't seen any body cam footage or dash cam footage yet, but this is the police dispatch call to give you an idea of what the officers saw when they pulled her over.
Black sedan, erratic braking, swerving, and driving with no taillight. North 101 from Rancho Road, a black BMW sedan, in and out of lanes and near TCs, now speeding.
So once she was pulled over and they talked to her and they interviewed her, they then took her to the hospital where we learned she spent a couple hours at least, and then she got out of jail around 6 a.m. this morning.
So the reason she went to the hospital, there were no injuries, this was to test her blood alcohol.
Not that we know of, yes.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, no injuries that we know of.
Yeah.
We do know that they tested her blood alcohol content. Now, we don't know the results of that.
We don't, but we know Britney's been telling friends that it's 0.06, which is below, yes, that is below the legal limit. Again, that's what she's telling friends. We haven't got the official report back from police.
Which we should be clear about, just because the legal limit in California and most places is 0.08, but you can still get a DUI at 0.06,
yes,
depending on what the
how
police
you're acting,
observed.
yeah,
and
if they think that you are under the influence.
if you're impaired,
yes,
you can still get a DUI.
And
so
swerving all over the road, I mean, they had potential probable cause to,
So after the hospital, they go back to the jail, where we're told that she was actually a model prisoner.
Well, yes, but also very emotional. We were told that sources tell us that she was crying a lot during the booking process. Yeah. But everything else was normal. She didn't throw any sort of fit. She didn't, everything was fine in that regard.
So then she gets released this morning at 6 o'clock. What is really interesting is that, and we know that Britney doesn't have a lot of people around her day to day. We know she has some staff. She has an assistant.
She has the on-again, off-again boyfriend that's been coming in and out of her life, and she has Cade, her manager.
And Cade, her manager.
Who is probably her best friend at this point.
I think that's fair to say, and I think we've said that before. Cade is usually out when she does go out for events or things. Cade is usually with her. Mm-hmm. Cade had a very interesting response to her arrest, because I think it belies what's going on and what has been going on behind the scenes with Britney Spears. Everyone sees the videos that she posts, and people think that some people think it's entertaining, some people find it disturbing, but this is what Cade said about what Britney's going through and what she needs. So as far as the DUI, Cade Hudson said, "This was an unfortunate incident that is completely inexcusable. Britney is going to take the right steps and comply with the law, and hopefully this can be the first step in a long overdue change that needs to occur in Britney's life. Hopefully she can get the help and support she needs during this difficult time." And he went on to say that her sons will be spending time with her, and we know that she's repaired that relationship or is in the process. Yeah, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, they've been spotted out in LA for the past couple months, and we're told that they're at the house with Britney. Yeah.
But Cade said that her loved ones are the ones who are going to have to help her come up with a plan to get her life back on track.
We also
For him to actually say that to us in a statement
pretty
is
strong.
pretty extraordinary.
We also have other sources close to her that are telling us that they do hope that at the end of all this that she is sent to some sort of treatment versus jail.
Yeah, and this is her first DUI. So,
First DUI, yes.
You know, usually in California, you're a first-time offender DUI.
You don't get any jail time.
Yeah, prosecutors are open to a plea deal where you're not going to get jail time. But you could get court-ordered rehab.
Well, let's see what the charges are as well.
Depends on what the charges are. And again, there's this substance. We don't know what that is, but that may affect that. But again, the fact that Cade is admitting that she needs some help, right?
It's the first time we've heard anyone in our inner circle say that recently.
We've heard people in her world who've said it to us. So we've known that there's been stuff going on. We've talked to you guys about this. When she was at the restaurant and she was behaving erratically, yelling
driving
at people,
a little crazy.
Driving a little crazy. Like, there have been things that have been happening where you go like, what's going on in her world? There was such a huge push that everyone remembers this. Back in 2020, the Free Britney movement really took off. There were a lot of people who just felt like the conservatorship was
unjust. They felt that it had too much control over Britney's life, that nobody else.
And you'd have to say, ultimately, they were successful, right? We saw the protests outside the court. But now, as we see what's happening in Britney's life, how do people feel about that? How do people who were part of the Free Britney movement feel about where her life is now? One of the more vocal members of the Free Britney movement is a woman named Jessica. She has a huge following on TikTok, and she's joining us now to talk about what's going on now in Britney's life. Jessica, welcome to TMZ Live.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
So, your reaction when you saw the news this morning that Britney had been arrested for DUI?
I can't really say I was surprised or shocked, unfortunately, but of course it was concerning.
You say concerning why? Why did you find it?
Just because of what's happened or what we've been seeing since, she got out of this conservatorship. It's really sad.
So tell me what's changed for you, because I know that you were part of the group of Britney fans who really felt the conservatorship was too restrictive, unfair, and damaging to her life. And we saw people, marching, protesting outside court, demanding that it be dissolved. So what's changed now, 4 years and change since the conservatorship ended?
I think that, at first I was very supportive of the Free Britney movement. I thought that she deserved her autonomy and her freedom, just like everyone else. And then when it ended, we started to see things that sort of made me think, okay, maybe this isn't as black and white as I thought it was. And there's a reason why the conservatorship was put in place, just based on her life that she was posting on social media, dancing with the knives and all kinds of things like that. It really just made me pause and think like, okay, something is not right here.
Do you feel any, this word is going to sound maybe a little too strong, but any responsibility for the path that Britney's life has taken since the conservatorship was dissolved?
I think so, in a way, because there were so many of us that wanted this and we're doing everything we could, to get her out of this conservatorship and get her free. And then it's just been a downward spiral ever since. So of course, yeah, I do. So
what if there were a conservatorship put in place? And I'm to be honest, I think that is a very, very long shot. And I'm not even saying that it's necessary. Do you think that there could be one that she could live under and be happy?
I don't think so. It doesn't seem like she wants any sort of help or anything. And unfortunately, if she's not willing to put in the work and the effort, I don't know how much it would really help her.
All right. By the way, I Jessica, I've seen some of the things you've posted where you were questioning where things were going in Britney's life. I'm wondering what kind of reaction you get when you post those things from other people in the Free Britney movement? Do they think of you as a traitor?
Some do. I get a lot of comments. Some agree and some don't. I'd say it's about 50-50. A lot of people get mad at me, but, you know, it is what it is.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Coming up.
Well, it was an incredibly emotional scene at the Today Show this morning because Savannah Guthrie was back there for the first time since she left when her mother was taken from her home just over a month ago. And we got the only video of this as it was happening.
Be right back.
Well, it was an incredibly emotional scene at the Today Show this morning because Savannah Guthrie was back there for the first time since she left when her mother was taken from her home just over a month ago. And while that mystery has not been solved, Savannah finally felt it was time to at least come back and greet her co-workers. And we got the only video of this as it was happening because we had a camera that was in the area, Rockefeller Center, and looked in and actually saw as she was talking to the staff, the crew there at Studio 1A. So this is just outside. We're standing outside the studio there. You can see it was a rainy morning in New York, but a very emotional moment as she hugged a bunch of several. It seems like she hugged just about everybody on the cast and crew and had some conversation with them, no doubt, about what she's been going through.
You can't hear anything, but it is just moving to watch. She is embracing everyone. Al Roker's there, everyone. It is very public because that window is prominent, and that's something that is a big feature. So this maybe could have been done behind the stage or something, but there's a reason that they're doing it in the open.
I think there's a reason that this was done in the open. You're right. She could have, possibly met them in the newsroom somewhere. It's, 30 Rock is a large building, but I think Savannah, and rightfully so, wants to keep this story in the headlines. She wants to keep this story in the headlines because, as she has said, as the authorities have said, they need people to still be on the lookout, need people to be thinking about Nancy, and because the only thing that's going to help them solve this is a tip from somebody. Somebody has to see something and say something.
And that
that's
means the story being in the news. It really does. It also is an indication that maybe this is entering a new phase for her, maybe a new chapter where she's entertaining the idea of resuming her life. It has been a month now. The investigation itself has taken on a new phase. There's a lot of uncertainty, obviously, for her and her family. I don't think she has sort of the emotional wherewithal to be on camera yet, but she's moving in that direction, it seems like.
While she was not on the show, she did not appear on the show today, when she was greeting everybody, the show was still ongoing. After she left the studio, this is what Jenna Bush Hager had to say about Savannah showing up, and I think surprising everybody there, because at the very top of the show, they said Savannah is still with her family.
So I don't think them putting flowers.
Right. So I don't think that the staff knew she was going to show up, but after she left, this is what Jenna Bush Hager had to say.
We got to see her this morning, and in her perfect way, she talked to all of us, hugged every single person in this room. She said that, she has the intention to return to the show, even though it feels like the hardest thing to do. It's also her home and where she feels so loved.
I think her coming here and just being able to be with us and for us to be able to hug her, I think it's a step, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know what's ahead of us. We don't know what's ahead of us, but all I know is it is a step.
So we will see if she's, does this mean, they haven't said yet when she's going to come back?
No.
Right, so it could be as soon as next week, but I think also, think about it, if you were in Savannah's shoes, it's kind of a day-to-day thing, right? I mean, tomorrow morning she may wake up and feel like, no, I need to go be with my family, and
I think they'll accommodate whatever that journey is for her, because it is an up and down process, but it does seem like a sense of normalcy is something she might be craving at this point after a month of this.
Hi, I'm Candace. I'm from Pennsylvania, and this story has been incredibly disturbing to so many people. It's been highly, highly volatile in the public and there's so much public scrutiny going on. And I feel like the Guthrie family is stuck in a lose-lose situation. They can continue to, try to, cling to the hope of their mom. They can try to continue an investigation, or they can try to return to a normal life. And I don't know if the public is ready to accept that, but Savannah does have a family. She has children. She has a home in New York City, and I think she's doing the right thing.
Yeah, I think she's doing what she needs to for her family, and maybe being in New York and having the spotlight on her is what's going to keep this story going just as much as being in Tucson with her family members. She's using what she can, and you have to admire that. Well, you have to wonder if the president used his famous line, "You're fired," when he told Kristi Noem she is no longer the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. She is the first cabinet member to be fired in this Trump administration, and it happened just on the heels of a very testy, to say the least, appearance on Capitol Hill, where she was grilled by Congress about the DHS efforts in Minnesota, the killings of 2 American citizens, and also that jet, that private jet that the DHS was using. That they grilled her about why there was a bedroom on there and whether or not she had fired someone from the pilot of that jet because they didn't have her special blanket. All of that didn't look good for her, but I got to say, I wasn't sure that would be the thing that got her fired, because we've seen other cabinet members go on the Hill and get grilled, and Pam Bondi is still here. But whatever the president saw, he felt like this was enough, and he announced that she is out. Actually, this is the statement he put up on Truth Social. He said, "I am pleased to announce that the highly respected United States Senator Mark Wayne Mullen will become the United States Secretary of Homeland Security effective March 31st. And as for Kristi, he said she's had served us well and has had numerous and spectacular results, especially on the border. She will be moving to be special envoy for the Shield of the Americas." If you're Kristi Noem, that does not feel
massive.
I know he's trying to make it seem like, she's got another job that's really important. Nobody really knows what the Shield of America. We'd looked it up.
Right. I still don't. I read about it. I still don't know.
Very vague what it actually is.
Right.
This is
running the Department of Homeland Security is a massive job. There's no way to look at this besides a huge demotion.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, the writing.
He likes her. I think. I know he's right her cover. Still,
we know
right?
he
He's
likes
not
her.
saying he fired her.
But the writing kind of had to be on the wall for her when the president sent in Tom Homan to Minnesota to sort of play cleanup for how that whole rollout went.
Right.
And
especially after the 2 protesters were killed.
Yeah.
I think at that point I said to myself, Charles, she's not long for this job. You could kind of feel like he's not happy with her. And now she's out of the job.
And now she is out.
Lorraine Large from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I think that Kristi Noem is the biggest gaslighter, and honestly, she always stirs the pot. She's never answering questions under oath, and her constantly calling citizens domestic terrorists is probably just a problem in itself. People from Oklahoma are saying that Mullen might not be much better, but honestly, I hope we just get somebody who can clear things up, answer questions straight, and improve things without more gaslighting.
Yeah, I mean, look, the not answering questions straight is what cabinet members do when they get called on the Hill, unfortunately. I mean, we saw Pam Bondi do it. I think the big difference I saw is that Pam Bondi yelled back at the questions, whereas Kristi Noem didn't yell. She was just as evasive, but she didn't yell, and maybe that's what the president didn't like.
Coming up.
We have a good old-fashioned battle of sexuality that really been stirred up by something model Jessica White said to us.
It's always okay for a girl to it's gonna be fine, but if a man does it.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Phoebe Rexa was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too.
Did you just say, look at the water? I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at. All right, we have a good old-fashioned battle of sexuality that is really been stirred up by something model Jessica White said to us about bisexuality and how she feels about it. Now, we're about to play this for you, and I'm very sure you will have an opinion about it. Look, we've had debates here in the newsroom about it, and we're going to talk to someone who is bisexual and has a very strong opinion about this in just a moment. But this is what Jessica said, and honestly, our question, we got her out at Guru's magazine. They had an event in Beverly Hills this week, and our producer asked Jessica a very simple question that I don't think this is what she was trying to get to. I think she was looking for something sort of light and playful, and it has now turned into a big debate about bisexuality.
What's something that is fine when a girl does it, but an ick when a guy does it? The baby talk, for sure. Baby talk. That's a bit, that's an ick for guys. And I would also say it's always okay for a girl to, kind of be bi, but if a man does it, it's like, why so? Well, I feel like double standards exist for all of us, right? But women have an ability to have more freedom to explore their sexuality, I believe.
She could have just left it at baby talk, and it wouldn't have been a big deal. But because she said the other things, there are some people who have very strong feelings about this. One of them is a guy you know from The Challenge, Paulie Calafiore, who is bisexual very openly, and he is joining us now from an airport somewhere, from what I can see. Paulie, thanks for taking the time to join us on TMZ Live.
No, thank you. Yeah, Miss Jessica, she's got a lot to say about this kind of stuff. I personally get the ick when people wear purple because I feel like that color should be retired after Prince wore it.
Whoa. Hey, easy, Paulie, easy.
Wait, are you wearing purple? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's my bad. I'm going to have a little bit of an educational moment for Miss Jessica.
Yeah.
So before there were labels on everything, if she goes back, if she studies the ancient Greeks, the ancient Romans, the way that men bonded back in the day before they went to war was they would sleep with each other. As we're in more of a evolved era of life, we're able to be a little bit more open and free about our bisexuality. But let's make no mistakes about it. The bisexual men are the baddest men on the planet, right? I know you straight guys been holding it down for a lot of decades, but we're the ones carrying the torch here. And maybe if she stopped hanging around guys like John Legend and Jay-Z, them little bitch asses, she might have a little bit of a different idea about this. But all jokes aside, yeah. I do a lot of work with GLAAD. And it's comments like this that make guys afraid to come out as bisexual because we really don't know where our place is because we are the guys who played sports. We are the guys who got into a lot of fights. We definitely know how to, women and men, and we happily do it. Listen, there's a lot of NFL guys in my DMs, a lot of UFC guys in my DMs asking me how they could come out about this stuff when they have girlfriends, when they have wives. And it's because of comments like this that they don't want to do it because they don't want to be seen as weak to their other competitors. And I'm here to say that, it doesn't make us weak. We could still be the same old badass dudes that we've always been. And, have a little bit of spice. You need somebody that could play all sides of the field.
What I heard her saying is that she doesn't like seeing men showing affection to each other. She doesn't like seeing two men kiss. She's fine with seeing two women kiss. I'm wondering if I'm just wondering if that's something you've heard. If that's something you heard when you came out. Was that something that you...
No, honestly, I didn't. Honestly, I got a lot of people. I got a lot of love. I got a lot of married couples coming to me being like, hey, do you my husband? Do you my wife? Like, it was a very, welcoming thing for me. But I think I've always just kind of presented myself as me. And it's one of those things. Like, I was a captain of all my teams. I was a professional athlete. And all my teammates, when I came out, they all supported me. And they were just like, yo, Cap, like, congrats on coming out. Like, that's just how we do it. And I don't feel like, men should kind of hide their affection and everything. We just have to kind of be authentically ourselves. And the one thing that kind of was like hypocritical is like, oh, you know, women, we can explore our sexuality more than men can. It's like, why?
I'm glad you put it that way, because that's kind of what she's saying, that it's fine for women to experiment, but not men.
Yeah, well, it's like she's trying to prop it up and position it in a way where it's like, oh, you know, my boyfriend or my husband wouldn't care if I brought in another girl because that's kind of hot. But if my, you know, boyfriend or husband brought in another man, that's gross. You know, but it's good to know she she wasn't at the Diddy parties, because she probably would have, you know, definitely experienced some of that stuff there.
Look, you were in a very public relationship with one of your Challenge co-stars, Cara, for a long time. Is this something that you guys ever discussed during your relationship?
You know, we obviously discussed it a lot from the gate. I mean, we were very open. We were in an open relationship out of the gate. And I even think in that realm, people are a little confused, because people will go into open relationships and be like, oh, okay, well, it's cool for me to just have sex with people, but my partner's not allowed. And that's not what an open relationship is, you know. And I kind of feel like this is what Jessica's touching on a little bit, where it's like, well, we as women can go and do whatever we want for a relationship, but if our man goes and, you know, if he's bisexual or if he does any of this stuff, it's, you know, viewed as is like not masculine. And, you know, I'm very grateful that I had somebody that had an open mind to this. And, you know, we both had an open mind to it. But yeah, I'm single, living my full bisexual badass life with, you know, men, women, having a great time at it too.
All right. If you could speak directly to Jessica, how would you like to educate her? What would be the thing that she needs to learn, do you think?
I would just say like this, you know, because like I understand, you know, where she's coming from in the sense of how she's viewing this. I believe it is wrong. I think a lot of people, you know, would believe it's wrong. So I would just put this to her, where it's like, you know, I'm sure she's a strong personality. She wouldn't be as successful as she is if she wasn't. She probably doesn't appreciate people trying to generalize what she might be, what she could be in that realm. So, you know, if somebody kind of made a generalized comment, you know, being like, oh, well, you know, there's your typical hip hop Atlanta, you know, girl, she would probably take that a certain type of way, given everything that she's accomplished and everything she's done in life. So I would just kind of ask her, you know, Jessica, just kind of shut up about these kind of topics.
All right. Enough said. We're going to let you get on your plane, Paul. I don't want to hold up your flight. But I appreciate you taking time to talk to us, man. Even though you took a shot at my shirt, but it's fine. I'll get over it.
Listen, I had the sunglasses on. I couldn't tell that you were wearing purple, otherwise it wouldn't have made it. But yeah, man, you ever need to call in the Bisexual Badass for all things bisexual, I'm just a phone call away.
I like the title. We'll make sure we put that on the lower Bisexual Badass. Thanks, Paulie.
Appreciate it, man.
All right.
Coming up.
This is not a banner week for Stefan Diggs. The former Patriots wide receiver was shown the door yesterday, got fired, and then a few hours later, his mom was hanging out with his ex.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. This is not a banner week for Stefan Diggs. The former Patriots wide receiver was shown the door yesterday, got fired, and then a few hours later, his mom was hanging out with his ex, Cardi B, or at least she was at Cardi B's concert, which was in Houston last night, and Stefan's mom went to the concert. I don't really understand why she would do that, but maybe that speaks to how well she got along with Cardi when Stefan was still dating her. But we know Stefan and Cardi are not together.
Well, she might just be supporting.
Yes, I know they have a kid together.
Yeah, her grandson's mother. That's
okay.
She's gonna have to be around Cardi for her whole life.
She's gonna have to be around her.
Cardi didn't break up with Cardi broke up with Stefan. She didn't break up with Stephanie. Stephanie has always loved. You can tell. Like, look at them. She's always loved.
This photo's from Super Bowl weekend. Yeah,
loved Cardi and loved being around her. So if I'm Stephanie, why am I gonna stop hanging out and having fun? Especially if she's family now, just because Stefan is a hoe.
Yeah, but if you had a bad breakup with someone, and I know you have because you talk about it all the time. If one of your if one of your parents was like, "Oh, I'm going to hang out with whoever he is one weekend," what would you do?
I'm really trying to see if I want to bring this up because my family has actually gone through this exact situation. Not with me, with my with my brother. My brother had an ex-girlfriend who was very close with the family. I'm, to this day, am still close with her. Her boyfriend actually just DM'd me yesterday asking to help with her birthday gift. My parents, my mom invited her to trips. But there's certain parents that when their children do wrong, they let their children do wrong. But just because
they just go on living
they
their
still
lives.
live their life. Yeah, Cardi, I'm cool with Cardi. She's my grandson's godmother.
So explain this one. So how about this? Aside from Stefan's mother, there's someone else in the audience that might be a little puzzling to people. Nicki Minaj's sister. Now, if you don't know, now you will know that Nicki Minaj's sister, Ming, Nicki and Ming don't really,
don't
vibe, right?
So this is not surprising again.
Right. So this one I actually understand because Ming would be like, yeah, screw Nicki, I'm gonna piss her off by going to Cardi's concert. That one I understand. But Stephanie.
You're not getting on with Stephanie.
But Stephanie, come on, man. Especially on the day he got fired.
Well,
hey, this is Lady Couture, the voice of all media diva, and I'm in Columbus, Ohio. I thought it was amazing to see Stefan's mom there. I know probably Stefan was probably swinging at the air, but I love to see that they can still have that relationship even though they're not together. Now, as far as Ming, another person is probably swinging at the air, Nicki Minaj. And I was waiting on a rant from her on X, but I guess we don't have it yet. But Ming was just like, hey, we're grown. I'm going to love who I love. And I mean, you never know. That might be the glue that may get Nicki and Cardi together.
I know you do not believe that. I know you don't believe that. Well, if Tom Brady is in the market for an extra $1 million, there is a way he can get it. All he's got to do is box Logan Paul and beat him, obviously. It's not just getting in the ring with him. But Logan Paul is offering $1 million to basically the NFL star of his choosing to beat him in a boxing match. I think Tom Brady is the person he wants the most because Tom Brady and he have been going back and forth, talking a little trash. And Tom called Logan a little bitch or something like that the other day. So now this is Logan's response, says $1 million and I'll fight any NFL player.
Yeah, so here's the thing. That Tom Brady beef was a bit manufactured. They were trying to promote the Fanatics Flag Football Showdown, which might be going down in L.A. now, Logan said on his podcast.
Because it was going to be in the Middle East, right? And so now with the war, obviously they're going to do it here, right?
Calling an audible. But now, Logan, I think, might have taken it a bit too far because he was talking about Tom Brady's like, oh, I'll throw hands, blah, blah, blah. And then he got carried away and said, anyone in the NFL, I can beat anyone. And they brought up Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, here's the problem. Like, first of all, Tom Brady's retired. Two, he was a quarterback who's not known as being like a big, strong guy.
Right.
Tom was about just being smarter than everybody else on the field, right?
Yeah.
Myles Garrett will kill you. So he's just got to be careful. I mean, ultimately, Logan will get to decide who he ends up fighting if someone wants to. But he's already turned down a few NFL players because they're not the, caliber that he wants. He wants someone who's going to be a draw.
Le'Veon Bell, who has taken boxing matches in the past, threw his hat into the ring, and Logan Paul was like, no, not you, because you've been training too much, and you're not active, and you're a has-been.
What does that mean? So, no, you can't box because you actually know how to box.
Yeah.
Well, the fun keeps rolling here in Hollywood. You know that we do the TMZ After Dark tour on Fridays and Saturday nights, and on Sundays, it's time for the TMZ Brunch tour. And this past week, we got a little tea while we were doing the brunch, brunch bus.
We didn't.
Tell us about it, Director of Fun.
Well, so yeah,
James has the best title, and nobody else cares what their title is in the newsroom, but you have the best title. So,
thank you very much.
Yeah.
And now it's no longer James; it's just Director of Fun.
Yeah, just Director of Fun.
Ceases to exist as James. But this weekend we had Letitia Pearson from the hit TV show The Bell Collective on the OWN network, and got accompanied by one of the most famous Hollywood West Hollywood DJs, DJ Coast West. And they really tore it up all over West Hollywood. Then,
what more do you want?
For the new, we had this showcase of the St. Felix Hotel, which opened up early just for us. And they had popcorn, chips, and the risotto balls for us, which was amazing.
Risotto balls?
Yeah, they were really good.
Damn.
And they offered us mini mason jar shots, which were delicious.
Oh, nice. If you are in town, you got to join us on one of the tours. We have so many to choose from, but it's a show on wheels, and you get shots.
Coming up.
Traitors winner Rob Roush is a man of his word. He did not completely screw over Mara. She said that there was one way he could make it up to her. Well, guess what? He did it.
Be right back.
Traitors winner Rob Roush is a man of his word, and I think that a lot of Traitors fans are going to be very pleased to know that he did not completely screw over Mara. At the end of the season, at the end of the show, Mara was really his ride or die, and she thought that they were both going to win and share the prize money, and then Rob screwed her over. He ends up winning the $228,000. All for himself. But she said that there was one way he could make it up to her. Well, guess what? He did it. He just bought her a small handbag. That's it. No big deal. Actually, it was a Birkin. So it was more than $10,000, right?
Yeah, it
for
was
one of these?
Reportedly about $16,000 for this bag. So he showed up to Hermes, bought a Birkin bag that she picked out. It's a 30-inch burgundy bag with, bunch of gold on it for the hardware.
$16,000 for that?
And she said that at least she got a Birkin and she rather would have gotten the Birkin than win the Traitors,
Can I tell you something? The first two cars I ever owned weren't worth $16,000
What about your car now, Charles?
We're not talking about that.
Okay.
We're not talking about that. All right? $16,000 for that bag?
Hey, it's a Birkin. Every girl should have one Birkin.
If she had won, if he didn't screw her over and they shared the prize,
she could have bought many of these herself.
She would have gotten how much? Half the $228,000?
Yes.
I mean,
at least he did try to make it right.
Coming up.
Well, Brooklyn Beckham did not have a reunion by phone or otherwise with his parents on his 27th birthday, but there is one slight glimmer of hope, not from his parents, but from his brother.
Any chance you guys will repair the relationship? Are you hopeful for that?
I hope to. Be right back.
Well, Brooklyn Beckham did not have a reunion by phone or otherwise with his parents on his 27th birthday, but we told you that they, of course, had posted birthday wishes for him yesterday. We found out he spent his birthday with his wife, Nicola, and some close friends, did not have any communication with his parents, and he still has them blocked. So he never even saw their posts, but people told him about it, which he thought was performative. There is one slight glimmer of hope, not from his parents, but from his brother. Cruz Beckham is a model and is in Paris for Paris Fashion Week because, as we like to say, it's always Paris Fashion Week. And he was asked about his brother's birthday. This is what Cruz had to say.
Any well wishes to your brother? It's his birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Have you spoken to him at all? Are you hoping to repair?
Okay. Oh, he's over there.
Any chance you guys will repair the relationship? Are you hopeful for that?
I hope to.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope to. That's more than we've heard from any member of the Beckham family about this feud coming to an end. So, who knows? Maybe it starts with Cruz. I don't know.
Hi, this is Mia, and I'm from Tampa. I honestly think that Cruz saying that he wishes Brooklyn a happy birthday publicly says a lot. No matter what's going on behind the scenes, I honestly think at least some of the siblings still want to keep up some normalcy. And I think that it is really good that Cruz wishes him a happy birthday. And sometimes a simple birthday statement can say a lot more than just a big public, a dramatic statement.
Yeah. Maybe, actually saying something to someone is better than posting something. Imagine that. What else do you guys want to talk about?
Hi, it is Jamie in Chicago, and I want to bring it on back to Britney Spears. I think it's a little bit silly that people are calling for a conservatorship. I by no means am defending this DUI. I think that was poor choice. But you've got Shia LaBeouf and Kanye West out there being menaces to society, and Britney was under the legal limit, and Britney didn't hurt anyone. So I think if we get her treatment, I don't think she should be under that conservatorship again.
Yeah, like I said, I think it is very unlikely that she ends up under a conservatorship, and we're hearing this from people very close to her, they feel she needs to get some treatment.
Coming up.
There is a model who is going viral because he's celebrating his 60th birthday, except look at Chwando Tan. Says he's 60. I don't believe it.
Be right back.
Okay, I don't know that I believe this, but there is a model who is going viral because he's celebrating his 60th birthday. Except look at Chwando Tan. Chwando Tan in Singapore says he's 60. I don't believe it. That's not possible. And if it is, then we got to rewrite the whole black don't crack thing, and we need a different phrase, because that's insane if that guy is 60 years old. People on the internet believe it, and he is, as you would expect, going viral because look at him. If that's 60, I'm suddenly way more depressed than I would normally be on a Thursday. Feels like a Monday now suddenly. That's going to do it for us. We'll see you tomorrow.